Hello to all of you. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. It's a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day from right here in the Impact Power Sports Studio. Impact Power Sports. You can find them online at impactpowersportsmi.com. That's a great place to go if you want to pick up a brand new Yamaha golf cart, custom built to your own specs, where you're like, hey, I want this, I want that, I want it to look this way, I want it to look that way. They can do it all at Impact Power Sports. They're awesome. They're in Rockford, Michigan. Not only a Yamaha golf cart, how about a side-by-side ATV, UTV motorcycle, e-bike, lawnmower, and proudly supported by our very own Nick, the electrician, who's been making waves this week on the show. We had a full-on tit for tat, tat for tit, titty for tatty, between Megan, one of the top executives of the year when it comes to car repair over at Irvine's, taking on local grease monkey, Nick, the electrician / handyman. Nick insists that for Madison's car, the 2017 Hyundai Veloster, still don't know how to say that. All I needed to do was go to Amazon and buy a $14 catalytic converter or something like that and just simply put it on myself. Easy job, he says. Whole thing cost $15. And Megan was 100% arguing him on that point. I'm already getting comments about yesterday's Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. We had a Stevie rage quit incident, and we'll talk more about that. Maureen says, well, actually, Rebecca says Stevie is passionate. It stemmed from book club, Big Fraud Book Club, which is getting ready to kick off. And Stevie had this weird moment where she was like, I don't know, she wanted to kind of take over the book club. She was talking about what we need to do. And was asking all these, it seemed like she was making it more complex, and she got pissed off because I was like, I'll just get into it now. There was no harm intended, but she got pissed. She goes, okay, Eric, I've got a question. I go, what is it? How are we going to do? What are we going to do? How's this going to work? And what about a Discord? Can we do a Discord and we can talk and do this? I go, I don't know. I thought we pretty much covered it. It's your turn. You tell us what to read. Whoever's turn it is says, yeah, we're going to read Mein Kampf. We get the book, we read it, and then we do a show about it on Patreon where we kind of zoom in and just talk about it each week. That's it. That's what you do in a book club. And she acted like it was all brand new news. So I was half annoyed because I've broken it down every day of the week for the past several days. I go, that's it. That's all we're doing. Well, yeah, but she's kind of Discord. I'm like, I don't know, I guess, if you want to. So because I wasn't, I guess, going, oh, my God, that's amazing. She thought I was being, rude, which, yeah, of course I was. And she goes, all right, that's it. And then she just backs out of the Zoom, cuts it off, rage quits. We're like, uh-oh. So I called her up. She goes, I don't hate you, but yeah, it was rude. I'm like, what? Come on now. Rebecca said Stevie is passionate about books and reading. Eric knew exactly how to push her buttons. That was not my intent. You make it seem like I was like, oh, great. Yeah, Stevie's talking about books. Let's go fuck her up. That is, I never do that. I never, ever say, all right, I'm going to go hurt you. It's just in the moment, it's it seemed like a ridiculous complication of something that is ridiculously simple. read book, discuss, repeat. That's it. Chris says Big Fraud Book Club off to a rip-roaring start. And then he adds, I failed to see Easy being rude. Yeah, it was 100% the way I act at everything. Which is just like, what? Huh? I mean, I don't want to be in a world where I'm like, ooh, that's a good job. That's a good idea. Okay, all right. Rebecca says, don't lie. You smelled a little bit of blood in the water. I'll tell you exactly what I thought, and you're not going to call me a liar because I'm not. I'm sitting there, and when she started acting like it was all new information about how book club works, which I know she knows how it works. I've said it here, repeated it every goddamn day. And then she starts like breaking down a Discord. And I'm like, well, okay. She's making a suggestion, and it's like, and it sounded a little complicated. So in that moment, I'm like, no, we're not going to do Discord. We're going to do what I said we're going to do. And that's exactly what happened. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh yeah, she's starting to talk. I'm going to beat the shit out of her. No, that's what I'm doing to you right now for being an even bigger moron. Jesus, at least Stevie had no clue and was just asking a question, you know? So, of course, I did what I'm going to do. Now you're the dummy. Megan's just getting in here. We already talked about you. We talked about you and Nick going head-to-head, tit for tat about car repairs. I think Nick's going to die on that hill of replacing whatever the hell with poverty parts. That's what I think he's doing. But anyway, so on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, that was the first ever rage quit we have had in years. Alan says she went from showing you her tootsies to saying, fuck you. What an hour it was. Absolutely. We had a couple of feet moments. Megan started, well, she knows. I mean, I think that Megan, you see, she came over my house with her puppy and Brian, and she showed up like in bare feet a couple weeks ago. I was like, what are you doing? And so now, every time I'm doing the show, she's like walking around in bare feet. And I'm like, oh my God, stop that. She said, I forgot that you were a weirdo. So we had a lot of foot moments. We even saw Ryan Weber's socked foot, which I'm going to need to see his whole foot. All right. I'm not, it doesn't even have to be any degree of sexuality with feet. Feet are like fascinating. To me, a lineup of feet, it's not, you can have any gender attached to them. It's like seeing a classic car show. Oh, there's a wide one. Oh, hammer toe. There we go. Dainty foot. Good arch support. Oh, that's a flat foot. Holy moly. Ooh, club foot. Holy shit, Carl. So there you go. Maureen says Ryan looking good last night. He was. Ryan Weber, star audience member for a long time. Megan says, I really did want to sell pics of my feet on the internet when I had a broken toe. I thought I could make money off a fucked up toe. 100%. People would definitely buy that. I would not buy that. Jeremy's all about it. He says, I'm with you, Easy. Best part of being a truck driver is seeing all the neat feet. The feet on the dashboards of the cars had passed me. Chris says Megan knows what she's doing. Yeah, I don't want to even go that route. I described it on the show. I said it's like starting to get a boner from your sister, and that's a bad feeling. You don't want that. Awful. Nick writes something. They call feet slabs in the fetish circles. Couple of slabs? All right, I get it. Hang on, I got to finish this coffee. Okay. I had glasses somewhere. All right. So, Stevie, about the book club, I want to get into this. And then I'm going to talk about how Kayla's dad, that would be Freebeer's wife's stepfather / uncle or stunkle, is making waves and now picking fights with fans of the Free Beer and Hot Wings show. He went and he tried that on my page, and I blistered Rod Weber. Excuse me. And now he is on the segment 18 page picking fights. And I am reasonably motivated to schedule a celebrity boxing match with Kayla's stunkle. In fact, I'm going to get into that right now. Rod Weber is one of the town village leaders in this community called Door. And that is what a real hotbed for Michigan shitheads. Rod made himself known on my own page. We discussed that yesterday. And the background, in case you missed yesterday, I want to make sure everybody is up to speed. Freebeer's wife, when she was growing up, she had her mom and her dad. Mom and dad split up. Whatever. Mom then married Kayla's dad's brother. So that meant that the uncle became her stepdad, thus creating the term stunkle. How did I find this out? It was months into my friendship with my pal Coleman Lutz. And he told me this. I go, what? Oh my God. And that led to, wow, so many thoughts and questions and just sheer intrigue. So when I posted about Greg and the Nose posting that they want to be America's top couple or favorite couple, I posted that, and he didn't like that I posted that, so he showed up there, and first thing he did was he started to attack Coleman, say bad things about my pal Coleman. So I'm like, well, all right, now it's open season. I mean, you hadn't really entered the picture, but when you entered the fray of this, now it's open season. Well, now you're screwed. And I talked about this on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. If you're the type of greaseball who would marry your brother's ex, you want to keep your head down. because you can never outrun the fact that you married your brother's ex. So you want to get a lot of clean racing. You want to get clean air with nobody in front of you, and you mind your business and you ride out your days. Well, this goof, by coming onto my page and trying to talk shit about me, and it's like, well, or Coleman or whoever, I don't think he said anything about me. He wouldn't dare. But he is going after Coleman. So I'm like, dude, you married your brother's ex. What kind of an animal would do that? Tyler says, when I hear man from door, this is almost exactly the pictures that I paint in my head. And look, I can guarantee you that Greg's never said anything. But Greg, he knows if there ever comes a day that, well, and it will come, that the nose finally gets sick and tired of having to see Greg nude and throws his ass to the curb. One of the first things Greg is going to want to break down is this dude, this amigo, and all of the nonsense of marrying your brother's ex-wife. I can guarantee you he's in his head saying, oh, man, I can't say anything to anybody. Well, this is fucked up. Tyler says, do we know what the timeline was? Was there potentially some overlap? I know nothing more. The only facts I know is that happened. That is happening now. His brother's still alive, and it's awkward as shit. Like when Kayla and Coleman were an item, and they had to, like, let's say holidays, they had to go see Mom with Stunkel. And if there was any family get-togethers, they had to be there at separate times. I mean, it's not a great situation. Murder Lover Linda says Greg has a brother, right? Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's Gary. Gary's a lot older than Greg. Gary's like in his mid-60s. So that's Rod. Now, I bring it up again today because I was tipped off that Rod is in the comments now of our pals over at Segment 18, which is a Facebook group so that supports our pals Free Beer and Hot Wings. And the post was a big announcement that they had won. Greg and Kayla have won their conference. They are the division winners as America's top 20 couple. I'll get to that in more detail in a bit. And so some guy named Mickey Baumgartner, who looks to be quite a tool in his own right, wrote, they won! They won! Let's keep voting, guys! And somebody made a crack. Well, it wasn't a crack. This is a supporter named Matt Zanstra. Matt said, I am happy for them, but that is not a flattering picture to use. It's this one that really, really accentuates that nose. That's a nose where, I don't know if you remember this, but there was a rapper and a rap song. The guy had like a raccoon skin cap on. This is in the 90s. Once got busy in the Burger King bathroom. Humpty Dance. The guy, and he had like a Digital Underground. I forgot. The guy's dead now. And he had the coonskin cap with the Groucho Marx, the glasses with the nose. That looks more human than this nose. I've said it before, and I stand by it. Kayla is me with a wig. For Halloween, I'm going to dress up like Kayla. Ben Glaze and I are going to reenact this picture. We're going to go to the exact same ice cream shop right outside of in the town. Freeburg's got an Airbnb in, where is it? It's some billion-dollar house right on Lake Michigan, Montague. I'm going to go to this exact spot, and Ben's going to dress like Freebeer and have that fucked up face, and I'm going to put on the wig and put on this dress, and Ben Glaze and I are going to reenact this picture right here. I think that would be outstanding. Ben, are you down for that? I know where this is. So you can be Freebeer, who everybody says he looks like a big lesbian. And we can do a calendar recreating the best moments of Freebeer and Humpty Dance. Chris says, stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin. Miss Twat-a-lot, Rebecca, says, which of the listeners can play the role of the kids? Yeah, we got the 6 kids. One of you needs to play a role. One of Freebeer's kids, the oldest one, one of you needs to play the part of Freebeer's oldest kid and make yourself look like a future school shooter. We can that's it. Cutie Patootie can dress up like a brooding school shooter. Alan says he's in. He'll play the part of school shooter. Tyler says just have 5 of us standing on our knees as the kids. All right. And then the one kid's like fully armed, strapped with like an AK and like hand grenades and bandoleros and shit and like tactical gear and greasy hair and a weird face. Rebecca says Coleman needs to be one of the kids. Outstanding. So anyway, I totally digress. That's what that person was talking about. I'm happy for them, but that is not a flattering picture for use. Kelly says, Kelly Police. I don't know what that means. Rod says, I guess Rod thought that maybe Kelly was being mean as well as Matt. And says, yeah, and look at the lovely photos you have. So that's this guy right here, Kelly's step-uncle. Ben Glaze chimes in to Rod and says, do you have photos with you and your brother's ex-wife? And this is what I'm talking about. If you are going to engage, you cannot have the baggage of taking your brother's ex to Pound Town and then try to tough talk people online. You will lose this every single time. Okay? So that's someone needs to pull Rod aside, and I don't know who it's got to be. It might be the nose. I would imagine that Eric Zane with a wig is frustrated with Stunkel. Look, Uncle Stepdad Rod, you need to leave. You got to get out of this. You're now these are uncharted waters for you. It's a bad deal because then Easy is going to annihilate you more than you're getting yourself annihilated because of the fact that you are porking my dad's ex. All right? That's a rough way to go. You're not going to win that. The Vegas line is you're always an underdog. You're the 1976 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You won't win a game. They might have won a game. I think the Lions, the only team that didn't lose a game, but I totally digress. I don't know why I even brought that up. It's a horrible joke. Ben said, easy, you got to get in on this action, though. Go, Ben Glaze, I will. He commented about somebody else, as you can see here. Rod writes, lots of keyboard winners. I mean, he's not that great on his insults. He's a bit tired. Older gent. I said, yeah, well, did you feel like a winner when you married your brother's ex-wife? Excuse me. Somebody's got to tell Rod to slow his roll. If one of the various family members from Door can maybe drag their knuckles over to Rod's house and while communicating in grunts and snorts, get the message across that this is one he's not going to win. It's better to sit this one out. Here we are in the chat. You know, I didn't even need to go this far, but Jeremy writes, I wonder if he knows what his brother's jizz tastes like. Yeah, I mean, that's tough to dig out of that hole. Numerous comments on the possibility of the Ben Glaze and Eric Zane calendar for charity. And we can donate the money to Idiots for Underdogs. That's what we should do. We should donate the money to Idiots for Underdogs. I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, it's already weird that Free Beer is having people give money to support him. To buy votes, and then if he wins, he's going to give the money to his own charity. That's an odd look. We discussed that yesterday at the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast and on Who Are These Free Beers. Chris says, honestly, trading spouses within the family certainly is on track for Door, Michigan. Okay, great idea about recreating all those pictures. I think we're on to something. All we need is 12 of them to make a honorary recreating Greg and Kayla calendar. Donate the money to the Christmas food drive you do. It's an outstanding idea, Ben Glaze. Cancel Idiots for Underdogs. We'll spend the money on feeding people. I never come up with the good ideas. I don't know if you know that. I mean, how many times have we on this show had an idea and then it kind of gets polluted and weirded out because I have input in it? I usually count on you to put an interesting spin on it. Chris says, what about doing the picture with former FBHW interns? Yeah, that's a possibility, but I think that the more people we have involved in this, the harder it's going to be to get it done. I think the biggest challenge from the standpoint of me is actually just following through. But it's possible. It's possible. We publish it. We sell it. We take the money. We buy food for less fortunate people, and that's the end of it. Tyler, with not his best joke, says Free Beer should rename their charity Sniffles for Underdogs. Actually, I'll give that a C. But you've had better. Okay. Thank you to Rod, though, for coming out of the closet like that, out of the woodwork. I shouldn't say out of the closet. Maybe out of the closet. I don't know. Yesterday on Who Are These Free Beers, I took a deep dive behind all of this nonsense about America's favorite couple. And I have audio proof that I played for you on that show that shows you 100% that what they tried to pawn off as Steve just accidentally discovered this turned out that Free Beer said to him off the air, hey, talk about this. And then there was several moments where it was all confusing. Despite knowing what they were going to talk about, Freeber managed to fuck the whole thing up by indicating that he's going to keep the money, that he's not going to keep the money, that he's going to keep the money, that he's not going to keep the money, that he may or may not win, probably is going to win. I don't know. Yesterday came and went, and it's a good thing Greg actually did that, went ahead and had it on his show, because they ended up winning. Now, if you notice here, again, focus on the words, not the nose. Currently first in their group. They won. They won their group. And so what these things do then is they then do another week's worth of voting. So you see 6 days, 12 hours. So this is going to continue and never, ever culminate. They all they got to do is keep saying, vote in their group. And then people then go and they pay money. Like if you want to donate $250, the word donate is held loosely. And then they say that they're going to give like a few bucks to the food bank and then this turtle here, and then they keep the rest of the money. Oh, by the way, somebody is getting a $20,000 prize. That's a drop in the bucket for the amount of money that they're making. So this continues now. So that's how the scam works. You see? All right, that picture, we're going to recreate that one. That'll be a good one. Coleman's going to play a part of one of the kids. Ben Glaze is going to be, I'll be Kayla because I look like Kayla. That's going to be a fun one, that pick there. That'll be great. Right on lake. You know what we can do? We can actually, on the beach, Greg's place in Montague, right on the lake, let's actually shoot it right in front of his place so that we're 100% accurate as to the recreation. The physical location needs to be directly in front of the Burn King's $1 million lakefront Airbnb mansion. This will be good in front of this ice cream place. I know exactly where this is. It's going to be an excellent calendar. The kid on the far right, his idol is Ethan Crumbly. Oh, I can't wait for this. Awesome pictures. I'll bet you there's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we need 2 more picks. Thank you for the idea. Murder Lover Linda says, let's all pitch in to rent it. Okay. There you go. It's a good idea. We can all rent the mansion, stay at the mansion. It's all booked up for this summer. But at some point, we can all rent the mansion and stay inside of Freebeer's house. There is a way to do that. He doesn't know everybody in here. And, wow, okay. Thank you to Coleman Lutz for precisely finding the location and the information on the Airbnb. So we're all about it. We're all about it. It's going to be a good time. Cannot wait. Thank you to everybody involved. Ben Glaze says, does Berlin have ice cream? We can do the ice cream picture at Berlin. Well, here's the thing, though, Ben Glaze. You got to understand, this has to be done right. You need to be made up to look like Free Beer. You got to be wearing the same gear. You really got to make yourself look like a hardcore lesbian. And I got to be wearing the wig and the same dress as the lovely, multi-talented Kayla. That's the only way this is going to work. So I know you want to like, oh, we're going to be together. Let's take a picture. No, we got to do this right. All right, now, it's fully possible that this only happens in just this conversation and that there's actually nothing that actually happens. Bob asks if I'm going to get a prosthetic nose. No, I think my nose isn't quite that big, but it's big enough. Tyler is disgusting. He wrote, rent the Airbnb and then have an orgy and leave the mess behind. No thanks. Tyler says we need Ben to put on a half of a bald cap to cover the front part of his dome. I'm right there with you. Murder Lover Linda says the planning is half the fun. The execution is the work. Exactly. Alan says you guys would get thrown off a roof at Berlin if you dressed like that. Yeah, if Ben was feeding me ice cream at Berlin, he's right. They do not like gay kind. I take that back. I don't want to say that. I'll probably get my ass beat. I shouldn't say the people who run Berlin. I should say maybe some of the people who are there might want to beat our ass. And that's a fact. Come on, we can't get past that. I will be at Berlin Raceway coming up tomorrow. Ben's indicating he will be there. It'll be myself. I don't know if Pooh Bear is going to be there. I haven't yet talked to her. And I'm trying to get Sarah Rookrock Roosh to join me. If you want in, you go to berlinraceway.com. You've got until 11:59 tonight to get tickets for the super modifieds. Super modified? Super late models? No, super modifieds. And they race tonight, two days of racing, tonight and tomorrow. So head on over to berlinraceway.com, get your tickets. Parking is free, 15 and under free. You can bring in a bag. You can bring in a cooler, 12 by 18 or smaller. Ben Glaze said, Lurch says to not do it, but it's a hilarious idea. What in the world would keep him from saying that? Is it because he's pals with Freebeer? I think this is a great idea. It's the absolute best idea. It's one of the best ideas I've ever heard of. Man Bun Chris says, sorry, Easy, but everybody is going to go to the Mr. FC soccer game for the big debut. That's right, the big debut of new legendary PA announcer Nick in Grand Rapids. Known now here as Clown of Carnage. He has accepted the reins to be the PA announcer in my absence for the conference championship game. That happens tomorrow with the Michigan Rangers. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. That will be a fun time. You're going to do great. I believe that. I really do. All right. Tyler says nobody is going for the soccer. They will all be there to hear Nick. A star will be born. Hey, you should know this, too, that when you talk into that mic, prepare yourself for this. Because obviously you'll hear your voice as it's leaving your mouth. But then the next time you hear it, it's not simultaneous that what you're saying is being broadcast to the crowd. There's a slight delay of about half a second. And it might mess with you. So don't pay attention to that because you'll start talking slower. Nick says, let's hope it doesn't go like the Iron Men fill-in. That would be the West Michigan Iron Men. I'm not familiar with the reference, though. I don't know. I forget what happened. I've been talking for the last week and a half about this book that I've been reading, and I finished it yesterday. So the next step will begin for Big Fraud Book Club. More on that in a second, but this was frustrating to me. The book is called Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. As I finished the last words, I was immediately frustrated. And because I was under the impression that he was like This is my impression of Paul Tremblay in his brain when he wrote that book. Well, all right, this is enough. I'll just put the finishing touch on this. The end. Yep, that'll do it. That'll wrap it up. Garbage. Garbage ending. Really, really bad. And that's been a common complaint of mine when it comes to anything that it, has a story. It's difficult to see the end all the way through and have it be of substance. I don't know why. Because it's like maybe they were like rushing. Well, I've been spending enough time on this fucking thing. I might as well just wrap it up with the end. Becca Shea says, did you see the movie? No, but I did go ahead and read how they did it, and it's way different. In the film, the people that live and die and how they lived and died is 100% different. It does leave you wondering, well, what happened, though? I was reading the plot synopsis of the film, and I'm under the impression that it also is like, wait a minute. So what are we to think here? What's going on? But they definitely did change it up in the film. But this was shit. Chris says Stephen King is notorious for not finishing books. Well, Chris, you read this damn book. Did you have that same vibe? Murder Lover Linda says the book It by Stephen King had a horrible ending. Yeah, I'm amazed at that. Obviously, it's not the easiest thing in the world to write any type of story. But I think if it's worth doing all that work to make the story interesting, why can't you see it through and actually write an ending that doesn't suck cock? No need to explain what happened. That's not in the spirit of... See, if I sat here and started breaking shit down with you, that's ridiculous. So that was frustrating. Now we're all set for book club. I got an email from somebody. Who was it about book club? I know that Chris D. Old Dens. He wants in on book club. And I shouldn't say him. I should say his lovely better half. Mallory wants in on book club. So Big Fraud Book Club gets another member. And I know somebody sent me an email or a text about this exact thing. I forgot who it was, though. So now we have our book club, and you can enter at any time. All you got to do is let me know that you're in book club. There's nothing to join. So I'm now going to take these dozen and a half names, and one of you is going to be drawn. Their name's going to be drawn, and it's up to you. All right, hey, you've been drawn for book club. I'll communicate that to you. Let's say it's Stevie. Hey, Stevie, you're in on book club. Now, I know she's not going to actually hear me when I'm explaining this to you right now because she's too busy coming up with wacky ways that we can execute book club and make it a million times more complex than it needs to be. But maybe she can put it together and actually pay attention to my words here. And then we don't have to have awkward conversations later. But anyway, let's say I draw Stevie's name. And I'm like, all right, what is your book? And then she gives me a book. And then I announce it to the group. And then we all go. Then you buy the book. And then we start reading it. All right, first book club is going to be, meeting is going to be in 7 days. Your assignment, 1/4 of the pages. Or whatever I focus on. Doesn't matter. Then you read. Then we do a Patreon show, similar to Ben and Eric style, where we're all zoomed in All right, this meeting of book club, Big Fraud Book Club, has begun. Let's go. Here's what I think. And then we each go through it. Some of you may say something, some of you may not. No time limit. Could be 10 minutes, could be an hour. I guess that's kind of showing that there's a time limit. But I think it's worthy of our time and will be very enjoyable. And then you file that, and then we read for another week. Boom. Right back at it. When we're done with Stevie's book about witchcraft, then we'll move on to the next person. We'll grade our books. What do you say about this book? And then we'll have point counterpoint and discussions. Someone might think that a book like The Cabin at the End of the World was good, but it wasn't, and I'll fight you to the death on that. It's a bullshit ending to the book. It was kind of a Sopranos ending to the book, is what it was. Megan says, all rom-coms from Megan. That's all right. Rebecca, our second audience member who doesn't grasp things, writes, have we determined how we're going to choose who picks the books? I think what's startling to me now is I have said in great detail the same thing repeatedly now every day. And this is not Becca Shea. This is Miss Twaddalot. And despite the simplicity of it, this ding-dong, she says, I asked before you explained it. We have talked about this for about 10 days. She says we never talked about selection. That is 1,000,000% not true. It went in one ear and out the other. When you get picked, you pick your book. Everybody knew it. If you were to ask all of these wonderful, sweet souls here, they would say, yeah, Rebecca, he already talked about that. He talked about that at length. And here you are. How do we pick your books? I'm going to go do some powerlifting. Your better half or lesser half, Jeremy says, I knew it and I'm not even in it. Chris says, yeah, we did. LOL. Jeremy, watch out. This is a red flag here. She does not listen. Alan says, oh boy, easy rage quit coming soon. I have noticed that it seems like the listening skills generally of female audience members sometimes manifest as the worst. I mean, it's not like I'm taking a run. I'm basically just stating a fact. Becca Shea says, okay, let's pick. I got to make a phone call. Well, we're not going to do it this second. I mean, I was just talking about how I'm now ready to start the book club. We got to put everybody's names into the hat. And I still have to draw. So for my audience members who have penises, I really appreciate you actually paying attention to the words I speak when I do this show. Listening is key. I think that if you find yourself doing 10 things at once, like let's say you're an audience member without a penis, and right at this moment you're busy doing things like minding everyone else's business, driving poorly, probably watching some dumb reality TV show, trying to work, listen to the show. You're probably not the ones that I want to turn to. And this is This is building hot on the heels of Stevie, me getting frustrated at Stevie yesterday for literally having no idea of what we're actually doing on book club, despite extensive conversations on this show. All right. Chris K offers up several middle fingers. I'm not sure who that is pointed towards. Jeremy says, things men are better at than women. Driving, comedy, losing weight, listening. Megan actually wrote, why is there not a middle finger emoji? Chris said there is. Rebecca, Miss Twaddalot, says, I hate all of you. Bob says, another example of not being able to pay attention. You know, I'm going to get a lot of heat on this. You're going to get people who say to me, you know, Eric, I don't like it when you actually take runs at ladies for not listening. And my response to that is, well, that is not, I'm going to stop doing that. Okay, good, Eric. As soon as you start listening. As soon as you actually start hearing those words, processing them, and committing them to spots in your brain so that you actually remember what I'm saying. If Pooh Bear was here, she would beat my ass. All right, so that concludes today's discussion on the Big Fraud Book Club, which I think we're going to Big Fraud Book Club. So did you get everything? I'm done reading the stupid book. The ending sucked. We're ready to begin with book club. You can join any time. Just let me know. If you're not on the list or you don't hear your name mentioned, by all means, reach out to me. It might have been a text that I got from somebody. Who was it? It said they wanted to join book club. Oh, Adam. Adam James. That would be Adam Balboa. This is who I have so far. Adam James, Mallory, Tophus, Nick and GR, Mike in Massachusetts, Amy, Maureen, Megan, Chris K, Becca. That would be Black Husband Becca. Twat, Stevie, Nick in Houston. All right, so that's 13 of you. I can randomly pick, just by dropping my pen down on the paper, who is going to pick in our first book. It has landed on Maureen. So there you go, Becca Shea. I've just chosen randomly. Maureen is up. So if you want to give us your book right now, you no doubt have one top of your mind. What would you like to read, Maureen, for book club? Arams asks, are people expecting Zaitunian or Zane to be participating in this club? I would say Eric Zane. Well, that's my true self. Don't forget, Eric Zaitunian is a hello. Oh, it's so nice to meet you. I mean, he's a dick. He is a boring asshole. Man Bun Chris says, now it's time to read about sexy Sheriff Swanson. Maureen, you pick whatever book you want us to read. She says, Jesus, I don't know. Well, now that's not a surprise. I mean, you agree to join book club, and for you to not have a book is perfect for what we're talking about here in this highly misogynistic show, but a well-needed misogynistic show. I think it's time that the ladies on this show start to do a little heavy lifting. Okay? I can't do it all. You need to pay attention to what's going on so we can have these normal discussions. And when things like, hey, you're joining book club, it's time to pick your book. You're first. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's not like I had a week and I have to figure out what I would pick while I was in book club. I mean, there's almost 15 of us. What are the odds that my name could actually be picked for book club? So you got to pick. Well, I actually have written a 5,000-page autobiography we could read. Maureen's autobiography. Oh, my God. Oh. I was born in a small town in Michigan. Let's start about when that town was incorporated in 1805. Chris writes, speaking of 15 days ago, I went to the store. Rebecca says, I am going to make you read smutty fan fiction on AO3. I don't know what that is, AO3. Murder Lover Linda says, this is great. And also says she's under pressure. Well, you've got a little time. I mean, I think it would be nice if when we wrapped up this show today, we were able to announce the book. And, you know, if you're an audience member and you're like, well, I might want to in on that. I might want to be in on book club too, but you're not on my list because whatever, you're shy or stupid or something. You can go ahead and get the damn book too. But it's probably a good idea to let me know because I want to send you the Zoom link so that you can participate in the Zoom loom. But if you don't want to be on the Zoom, you don't have to be. You just get the book, you read it, and then you can just enjoy our discussion about it on Patreon. You got to sign up for Patreon, though, to be part of the Big Fraud Book Club, where we will have these discussions about whatever book. Book club has officially begun. We have drawn Maureen's name, and we will now pick it out. She says, I thought we had a day to pick. Yeah, I guess, but wouldn't it be more fun right now if you actually had a book prepared? Man Bun Chris says, I feel you got to be on the Zoom. That's what makes it fun. Well, not everybody's comfortable with that, you know, especially with some of these younger audience members. I mean, let's face it. The end of the United States is going to be Generation Z. After that, I mean, we're doomed. These are horrible people. They can't do anything. They're afraid. They want to be in their safe space. And they suck at everything. So you can't expect everybody to have the same mindset when it comes to being in front of everybody talking about the fucking book. All right, Maureen, you think about that. And we'll absolutely get after that. Rebecca is talking, I think, about the Make the Call Easy, or at least the business next door. Do you remember what the name of the business next door to that racist church was yesterday? Does anybody know? We talked about it in the Patreon bonus podcast. If you figure that out, let me know. And Braids. What town was that in? Braids in what is that? I forget what town in Indiana that was. Braids and Che. I should probably, in order to get the free podcast audience up to speed, play the news story from yesterday's Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Racist Indiana Church. Racist Church, Indianapolis. Wish TV. Okay, I'm trying. Excuse me. That was a TV station, WISH TV, and the pastor's last name is Falco. That's how I did the search. Boy. I normally don't like to do this. I apologize. Search for something while the show's going on, but I wanted to do it, and God damn it! I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it happen. I have to save this for the Patreon. I can at least try calling the church, this racist church. In you know what? I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna blue ball you, because there's some context that needs to be laid out. I'll save that for the Patreon bonus podcast. Tell you what, I will. There's also a pregnancy resource center across the street. Megan says, I sent you the Google Places link in a text last night. All right, let me take a quick break, and I'll come back with more. Thank you so much, as always, for being here. You're doing a great job. Maureen, think about your dumb book. Of all the people to make first, you get Maureen. Shit. All right, I'll be back. All right, it takes a village. I am back. We are going to. I am going to play you this clip here of this fucking church in Indianapolis. We'll get to Maureen in a bit. She is now announcing she has picked a book. It's crazy to me that you didn't have one in mind. All right, here we go. This is the story, and this is rough.
Well, back here at home, an Indianapolis church is calling for members of the LGBTQ plus community to be put to death or to kill themselves.
Indianapolis faith leaders, they're condemning the message. ITMate's Kayla Russell joins us now with video of that sermon and why the queer community says that it's deeply harmful. Kayla.
Yeah, hey there, Farron. So the sermon was titled Pray the Gay Away and was given from the pulpit inside the Sure Foundation Baptist Church on the northwest side of the city.
There's nothing good to be proud about. Being a you want to blow yourself in the back of the head. You're so disgusting.
That's Stephen Falco. He's inside the Fundamental Baptist Church and is speaking during men's preaching night. The
So that's unbelievable.
event was live streamed on their Facebook.
Got a bunch of that want to come around, walk on our streets, and demand our children, and we should look them in the eye and say, no, you're not going to have our children.
Falco continues to call for the death of the queer community. And following the sermon, I reached out to the church about his words. They told me that Falco is only calling.
Watch this. Listen to this double down. I don't think they made it any better when they say, "Oh yeah, we need some clarification. Let us explain to you what he meant."
Me that Falco is only calling for the death penalty and suicide for the actual sodomites or homosexuals. The
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Bible teaches that those people are worthy of death. They are supposed to be executed by the government. We are not to take the law into our own hands. I also reached.
Why is it such a big deal if a person is reading the Bible and, you know, there's a nice passage about treating people sweet and kind or whatever, and then there's another passage that says something fucked up? Why is it not okay in certain circles for a reader to go, well, that's crazy, I'm not doing that? I mean, is it too much to ask that if you read the text, you can look at that and say, well, that's fucked up, I'm not doing that? You know, there are people, these hardliners are like, oh, no, you got to interpret everything as literal. And you got to follow it to the letter of the law. Well, then half of the shit that's in there is criminal. Yeah, I am a be advised, informed reader. You know, I mean, if I read something like that, I'm like, yeah, I don't have any plans to go kill people anytime soon. I think that's probably not really on this. I'll stick with love thy fellow man. You know?
Out to members of the LGBTQ plus community to ask how this.
All right, that's pretty much the worst of it. I don't want to get into any more of it. Let's see if I can get a hold of these people now. It says that this church actually isn't even like open until like 11, and they're probably an hour behind us. I'm pretty sure they are in that community. Let's see. Megan, what is it? You said that the phone numbers are on all the doors. What is the phone number of the actual church? There you go. I see it now. 31732. Okay, that's the Braids place. I should probably just go back to this story and look at it myself. I'm probably the least prepared person in the world today. It's almost like Maureen picking a book out. Okay.
Falco. He's inside the Fundamental Baptist Church and is speaking during men's preaching night. The event was live streamed on their Facebook.
Got a bunch of that want to come around, walk on our streets, and demand our children, and we should look them in the eye and say, no, you're not going to have our children.
Falco continues to call for the death of the queer community. And following the sermon, I reached out to the church about his words. They told me that Falco is only calling for the death or homosexual or We are not out to members' rhetoric immunity.
Children don't know hate, abusing them invisibly.
Fuck.
The sermon was titled Pray the Gay Away.
Hold on,
Church.
man. This is embarrassing.
Being a so disgusting.
That's Stephen Falco. He's inside the fundamental
All right. I thought I called it yesterday. I'm pretty sure I might have called like the wrong town or something like that. Let's see. It's the 360 number you called? I guess it is, but that says Vancouver, Washington. All right, I'll try it.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Ben Glaze. Nah, it ain't gonna work. All right, let me check one of these other numbers. By the way, the fact that guy looks like a pedo. And these other numbers are 317, so that's kind of weird. Lynn's Catering Company next door. 317-295-9537.
The number you
Yeah,
have reached.
fuck. Pregnancy Choices Indy is also in the strip mall. The Braids Place. Yes, black people hair. 1523. This might be a wild goose chase. I think all of these businesses are shit. That number didn't go through either. Well, this is all terrible. I apologize. My bad. It happens. Sorry. Cough drops. Cough drops drive me nuts because then I have to like bite into them. All right. I talked earlier about Berlin Raceway. That's going to be a good time. If you can, join me. I will be there. Just get your tickets and buy them by 11:59. Save yourself some money. Irvine's Auto Repair, 616-532-6600. They're awesome. Thank you to them. They are fixing Madison's car right now expertly. And don't believe what Nick in the arena tells you. He's a dumbass. Nick wants to fix Madison's car with a coffee can and a pipe wrench. If you want it done expertly the first time, 616-532-6600. That's 616-532-6600. Ask about their loaner cars. We cannot forget Adam Kasari, the realtor of choice. If you're looking to sell your home or you want to buy one, have Adam help you at 616-914-4061. That's 616-914-4061. I've got an update for you on the guy who got into the former hockey player who got into the fist fight
in a city where billboards sell.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. This is the guy who, kicked all sorts of ass. This is the video. I'm going to show you the video from yesterday's show. Former hockey player Nick Tarnasky, all he wants to have happen is the guy and his drunk buddy to get their butts in gear on the golf course. They won't do it. It involves, it starts to get a little bit more heated.
Up there or you're gonna get booted the out of here.
The guy in the dark shirt there.
Hurry up. Promise you that.
Him and the guy, the fat ass in the white, are drunk as hell, and they won't get moving. So this keeps escalating.
You guys need to get off the golf course.
And this guy, he ends up going after this big dude, Nick Tarnasky. He used to be an enforcer for the New York Rangers. And this is how it went for that guy.
Hey, man. Come on, man. Hey.
Okay. He winds up in the water.
Hey. Off to a good start, buddy.
Off to a good start, buddy. It's like my favorite.
Leave him
You want to know? You won't came at me. I got it all.
Now, the idiot, he's the one who came at Tarnasky. Now he's going to come after him again. And this guy, when he played, he didn't score goals. He just beat people up.
I got it all.
You'll notice here when he grabs the jersey that as he's punching him, he's saying the word bang.
Record. Bang! Hey! You want to go, guy? Leave him alone. Hey, leave him alone, man. I wouldn't
And then this guy comes back.
go back, you moron. Bang! Hey! Bang! Come on, man. Bang!
Oh, my God. Those are really flush-sounding punches.
You want to know? You won't came at me. Leave him alone, man. I got it all on record. It's around the goal. I got it all on record. Around the goal. Bang! Hey! You want to go, guy? Leave him alone. Hey, leave him alone.
That is a strong, powerful human being.
Bang! Hey! Bang! Come on, man. Bang! No, I'm not trying to get in there. Like,
And then the idiot gets up again. I like how Tarnasky knocks him out. And he says, enough, stop it. Stop coming at me. This guy comes back again, and now he's just going to ragdoll.
enough! Get out! Hey. Hey.
Look at that power. He throws that fucker like 10 yards. Now that's where it ends. The guy who got beat up, he is sharing the aftermath. This is him right here. Just a tiny little black eye, and that's all, boys. All right, now you got to love that about Canadian guy. He gets his ass handed to him on the golf course. He's embarrassed, but yet he still answers the bell. He's not being a bitch about it. He just said, "Hey, I just got knocked around. It's a tiny black eye." Well, he got off lucky. He is very, very lucky. But I love the fact that guy who got bam, bam, bammed is now showing, hey, there you go. Chris likes the fact that the guy said, I got it all on record. Becca Shea says, what a bunch of idiots. I disagree. I think this guy is an idiot, but the guy who beat him up is not an idiot. He approached them and said, look, you guys have been standing on the tee box for 20 minutes. You can't even stand up. You're so intoxicated. Let us play through, please. They said, no, fuck you. And here we are. And then you saw this moron go running at Tarnasky. Tyler says he sounds like Bam Bam from the fucking Flintstones. Chris in Buffalo says Canadian conversations are great. Fuck off, bud? Tyler says, I expected more damage if you're throwing out bang with every single strike. Disappointed. At the end of the day, you don't want anybody getting really hurt. The only thing that this guy had hurt was his pride. So it all worked out. The difference here is this wasn't like one of those brawls where you see people like gather around and start kicking the guy who's getting beaten. And I like that. You got the two dudes are going to spar, and then it's settled, and then the one guy goes home. That's kind of like a couple of rams on the Serengeti or in the mountaintop meeting. They bang heads, and one ram gets the female ram, and then that's the end of it. However, a little bit more about Nick Tarnasky, or when he played Nasty Tarnasky. He is in the Canadian community of, I think it's Red Deer. And he is a 17U hockey coach for like the young people. And he might be in some trouble. I hope not. The Youth Hockey League / team is investigating after coach Nick Tarnasky goes viral on the golf course. Just this guy's head in his bucket there with his tooth out. That's an intimidating looking fellow. If you're so big that you can't even get a bucket that fits your head, this is the guy you want to avoid. If you're going to belligerently pick a fight with someone on a golf course, do not do it with a guy like this. Meanwhile, a decade and a half removed from his last NHL game, Tarnasky currently works as a 17U coach for Red Deer Minor Hockey in Alberta. The team released a statement acknowledging the video, saying it's conducting an internal investigation into the incident. We are aware of the video circulating on social media involving Coach Tarnasky with Red Deer Minor Hockey. At this time, given that we understand the matter is being reviewed by local police authorities, we are conducting our own internal investigation into the alleged incident. You don't need to. You just need to watch the video. However long the video is, that's all you need to see. While the team said the matter is being reviewed by the cops, the cops said, no, it's not. They received the report, and they said, well, it was essentially a report of a fight and an intoxicated individual. Nobody came forward to us alleging an assault or anything like that, and our investigation was concluded. It's just a couple of dudes who had to settle it, and that's the way it should be. Tarnasky listed as 6'2", 230 pounds when he played. Probably a bit heavier than that, but he still looks in damn near fine fighting shape as he grabbed the jersey and pummeled that guy into next fucking week. Jeremy said, funny enough, EZ actually yelled bang every time he connected a punch during 15-second fight. I think it's pretty safe to say that I don't know how to fight. I wonder if there's still video footage of 15-second fight between Joe and I. All right, this is the slow motion video. We do have a fight. We have slow motion 15-second fight. I don't know if this is the one where I really got pummeled. Notice how that was pretty unique. How I just kind of like lunged towards him and tried to push him. And he goes low. No real punches landing there. We're just kind of grappling. That one connected. My head is down. But I'm not sure. Joe's headgear comes off. Oh, that's fucking great. God, I think we did two of them. Didn't we do two of them? Eric Zane, producer Joe's 15-second fight videos revisited. This one's the one where Joe broke my ribs and I got a shiner.
I'm so weak. Come on, let's do it. Come on. All right. Put his, I don't know. Use headgear, man.
Joe's not dressed yet because there's no motivation for this. It's just fighting because they're mad at Fred.
Yeah.
Maybe if you play a little Fred, Joe will be more incensed. Just a little. Joe, this will help you.
Oh, God!
Joe's all.
Oh, that was a good punch right there. Right there. Then he starts going down low.
Yeah! Yeah!
What a bit. Megan says, I think all workplaces should incorporate 15-second fights. Nick says, if you ever want lessons easy, I can teach some fight skills. Oh, you know what you're doing, eh? Badger says, could you take free beer? I don't know that I can take anybody. Donut Dan says, I don't get it. You can fight at a hockey game. Why not golf? It's sports, not an assault. Well, to be sure, the guy went after Tarnasky. So the guy just defended himself. Aram says the first fight, I think, was because of Joe's big bag of hits, the band Aha. Yeah, we were looking for a reason to have our first 15-second fight. And there were only two. But I got hurt on that second one. Like, I had a shiner, and my ribs hurt. You saw him go down low and start to chop away. That wasn't comfortable at all. Tyler says, imagine a 15-second fight between Free Beer and Easy. Some hurting bombs would be thrown for sure. All right. Nick says he is a second-degree black belt in kickboxing. Oh, man. Those are tough cookies, too. So you can probably, like, get your head, your foot over your head. You know, like a roundhouse kick and shit. It's not easy. You're probably in great shape, too. Okay. I got to share with you this. This is a couple of clips from Rick Springfield's appearance on the Today Show. Two things that stand out. And in this order. In the interview, the one guy, Craig Melvin, is that his name? You got Roker, who's becoming fat again. Craig, what's his face? And then the chicks. Craig is going to yawn, and Springfield picks up on it that he yawned. Here you go. Let's get into this clip right here.
You released a greatest hits album, but of course everybody still talks about Jesse's Girl. Jill's been playing it all morning. When you recorded that, any idea that this thing was going to resonate for as long as it has?
No, it's really taken on a life of its own after I recorded it and put it out. I mean, you can't really plan anything like that, and you can't foresee anything like that. It just happened. Am I boring you?
No.
Oh.
No, actually, you're not at all.
No, dude, it's early. Don't worry about it. I'll yawn too. I'll probably yawn.
It was a
That's enough about Jesse's Girl.
Oh my God, is that Greg? They handled it well though.
Like that, it just happened. Am I boring you?
No, actually, you're not at all.
No, dude, it's early. Don't worry about it. I'll yawn too. I'll probably yawn.
It was a cough. And then even more insults. They're talking about him when he's not there. And this happened.
That's enough about Jesse's Girl.
The real story behind that smash hit, Jesse's Girl.
Is he sing 8675309? Is that Rick?
That's the two-tones.
The two tones, very close. But again, they're big fans of Rick.
Damn it. These idiots are singing the wrong goddamn song. If you're Springfield, you're like, fuck me. You know, that dude is, he's like 73 years old. And I think he looks like he's 53. He looks like he's 48, you know? Becca Shea says he is still hot, without a doubt. Like, he's jacked, too. Like, when he's on stage, he'll take off his shirt. And the chicks, I mean, the first 15 rows are all chicks. And the shows sell out all across America. He is a goddamn legend. You know? Chris says Al Roker should always be fat. I agree. I've never liked him skinny. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure, but I thought Maureen indicated that she might have her book. Is that right? I have so many varied books, and I just want something everyone will like. Before you give it, and maybe this will affect your decision. Oh, no, she does have it. You don't have to pick, because you wrote, I want something everybody else would like. Do not do that. The best part about book club is that, we might read something that is in your wheelhouse, and then we get to read it, and then we bitch about it if we don't like it. The point of book club is that it's your book, and so that we read a wide variety of books. So if like Nick the electrician, if he knew how to read, he would offer up a book that's something that interests him. The point of this is that for us to read, interact about things that when it's your turn. So I know I have to explain it to you 10 times because you don't listen, but I want you to 100% focus on what interests you, not about what interests us. That is the key of book club. Donut Dan says, green eggs and ham got to stay at our reading level. So that's what I want you to do. So if you want to go ahead and choose again what book you want, because I see you threw out the book, The Heroin Diaries by Nikki Sixx, which I'm sure is an outstanding book to read, but I only want you to pick it if that's the book that you want. Maureen says it's a good book. Read it several years ago and will need a refresh. Okay. I think it should be a book you haven't read before. I don't know if it's something that you want to have. You know what I mean? I mean, are we on the same page? That it's perhaps a book that you should not have read before, which you just revealed that you in fact have read this book before. Can we at least all agree that the start of book club has been an absolute failure? Chris says, no way. We can reread books. Come on. Really? We're going to reread books. I don't know, man. I need a vote from people here. I mean, I'm not saying we can't, but I think that in the spirit of book club, shouldn't we all have like equal footing? We're all discovering things at the same rate. Chris says it's not a failure. We're just hammering out the rules. Maureen says, I guarantee you I don't remember a word of it. I have pre-Alzheimer's, I don't believe that. Murder Lover Linda says it has to be a book no one has read. Well, I don't know about that. I just know it has to be a book. That's what I'm asking. Shouldn't it be a book that you have not read? Donko says, what difference does it make if they read it before or not? Other people in the group might have read any book that you might read. All right, fine. Nikki Sixx. We'll read the goddamn Nikki Sixx book that Maureen's already knows front to back, cover to cover. Man Bun Chris says, why is this so complicated? I don't know, Chris. I don't know. Donut Dan says no politics. No, that's not it. You're not even in the goddamn club, Dan. Jesus Christ. The book is being the number one judge and leader of book club, Big Fraud Book Club. We are going with Nikki Sixx, The Heroin Diaries. Buy it on Amazon or wherever the hell you get your books. And let's get after it. Let's break the book down into quarters. And read it, and then I will schedule our first, in fact, Big Fraud Book Club show. Badger says book club will flame out in 2 weeks. Maureen says, or go to your local library. I hope mine has it, LOL. Pfft, libraries. Murder Lover Linda says, this book almost makes me want to join book club. All right, so this is a year in the life of a shattered rock star. The shocking, gripping, and at times darkly hilarious best-selling memoir of Nikki Sixx's year-long war with a vicious heroin addiction, featuring exclusive new content. Sounds pretty good. It came out in, I think, 2017. Gripping and at times darkly hilarious best-selling memoir. When Motley Crue was at the height of its fame, there wasn't any drug Nikki Sixx wouldn't do. He spent days, sometimes alone, sometimes with other addicts, friends, and lovers, in a coke and heroin-fueled days. The highs were high. And Nikki's journal entries reveal some euphoria and joy, but the lows were lower, often ending with Nikki in his closet, surrounded by drug paraphernalia and wrapped in paranoid delusions. Here, Nikki shares the diary entries, some poetic, some scatterbrained, some bizarre, of those dark times. Joining him are Tommy Lee, Vince Neil, Mick Mars, Slash, Rick Nielsen, Bob Rock, who the hell's that, and a host of ex-managers, ex-lovers, and more. Brutally honest, utterly riveting, and surprisingly moving, The Heroin Diaries follows Nikki during the year he plunged into rock bottom and his courageous decision to pick himself up and start living again. You can get it on paperback for $16.51. I have not yet looked at a calendar, so I don't know when, but I imagine in the next 7 to 10 days, we will schedule our first Patreon Big Fraud Book Club episode. Nick says, this is outside of my wheelhouse. It'd be an interesting read. It will be interesting to read. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's what will make book club great. It doesn't have to be anything at all that you are interested in. That is going to be an outstanding book. I've been saying that all along. I never once indicated that it had to be a book that you have never read before. Just so everybody is aware, I indicated that you can choose any book, and I'm sticking by that. Those words that you heard me say not long ago, that is not true. I didn't actually say, you didn't hear it. Nick is here. He is not in book club, but he says, I tried this book, but I nodded out pretty quick. Well, look, Nick, why don't you join book club? I think we need you in book club. Maureen says, I read it 10 years ago. It will all be new to me. All right, I'll take your word for it. Man Bun Chris says, can you link the book in the chat, please? Easy. You know, I'm definitely going to do that. There you go. Book number 1 in book club, Heroin Diaries by Nikki Sixx. I wonder if they'll have that at my, like Maureen said, my local library. I guess that was a joke that Nick said. It went right over your head, Easy. Nodding out is when a heroin user falls asleep. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm glad I didn't get that joke. You know, I'm not really up on my heroin humor. Megan says, abebooks.com is a good place for used books. Man Bun Chris says, not at the Hudsonville Library. They would burn it, probably. Before I announce the asshole of the day, which if you have nominations, you can add them in the chat. Please do. Thank you to King's Room Barbershop for keeping the hair looking good. King's Room Barbershop online at kingsroom.net. 3 locations, Northland Drive, Caledonia, and at 821 36th Street. kingsroombarbershop.net. Haircut's going to set you back $21. Head over to there and get one. If you want exact locations, hours of operation, schedules and whatnot, it's all on their website. Please mention me when you go see my pals over at King's Room Barbershop at kingsroom.net. Kuiper Tree Care will take care of your fallen trees or unwanted trees, grind the stumps, clean up the storm damage, trim the trees, or offer tree risk assessment. They're found at kuipertreecare.com, or you can call 616-828-8225. That's 616-828-8225. The team over at My Policy Shop Insurance want you to get into your health care policy. If you are in between jobs, perhaps you own your own business, or your boss does not offer insurance, you can get the required insurance to keep things going for you by going to buyinsurancehere.com. That is Frank's landing page. Fill out the info, and it's basically a spot that you can put your info in, and then he will reach out to you. And then he can help you in getting set up with your healthcare policy at healthcare.gov or Obamacare. Frank's services are free. They are awesome. And, he can help you from no matter where you are in the U.S. All there at buyinsurancehere.com. Mick makes the crack to Megan. Megan is claiming you need to buy first edition hardcovers, no cheap reprints allowed. She writes JFC. I don't think she is. I don't think she is doing that, Nick. I think you're just a troublemaker is what it is. I know what he's suggesting there. To your asshole of the day today. It has to be what's being described as church douche. There you go. Congratulations, boy. I got to get a new marker. There you go. That is the Eric Zane Show podcast on a Friday edition. I'll do the Patreon a little bit later on. Thank you so much. I'll see some of you over at Berlin Raceway. If not, have a good weekend. Be safe. Talk to you on the Patreon. If you don't check that out, no big deal. I'll be back with you on Monday with another free podcast. Thank you. Have a good one, and bye-bye.